This week, we're going to be making a portfolio case. On the front of the case, we're going to have a collage with a theme that reflects who we are as individuals. You're allowed to pick any theme you want, but I want you to pick something that tells me a little bit about yourself. So, here are some suggestions. On the front of the portfolio case, you should also have your name. Your name should match the theme you chose for your collage. Your name should be visible and easy to read against the background of your collage. On a scrap piece of paper, use a pencil and try sketching different variations of your name. You're going to have to think of something that will complement your collage, so you're going to have to try different styles and combinations of lettering until you find one that you think will look best. Once you've decided on a style of lettering for your name, your teacher will provide you with a good piece of paper, and again, use a pencil and sketch out what your name is going to look like. And then, using a marker, you can outline the name in black. Once you've outlined your letters, you can use markers or pencil crayons, and you can begin to color in the letters. Different colors will work best with different backgrounds, so give it some thought. Okay? Because if you have a dark background and your letters are dark, later on it will be very difficult to see your name. Okay? You don't have to commit to a certain color right away. You can decide that later, but I already have an idea what I want. At some point when you're finished inking and coloring your letters, you can bring out a pair of scissors and carefully cut out each of the letters. So flip through a magazine, and if you come across a picture that you like, you can tear it out and just add them to your pile of photos. When you've got yourself a nice collection of different photos, bring out a scissor and you can begin cutting images out of the individual pages. Be very careful to cut only the parts that you want, and so take your time. So when you've got a photo you want, just cut it out carefully along the edges. Take your time and you'll get a good result. So another alternative is tearing your photos so that you leave a little bit of the background. But I suggest that you choose one or the other. If you're cutting, make sure that you cut all the images. If you're tearing, make sure you tear all the images, so that way there's some consistency in your collage. Either way, you will get a nice result, and it's just a matter of personal preference, but I suggest that you just stick with one or the other. I don't quite have enough images yet to cover the entire poster board, but I just wanted to show you that later on you're going to be arranging them so that you can cover the entire surface. And as you can see, it's a good idea to have objects of different sizes and of different shapes, because later on you're going to want to arrange these objects in such a way that you're able to cover up any parts of the poster board. And later on you're going to have to experiment with the placement of the different objects, and that's why it's sometimes important to have images of small sizes, because these small pictures are very handy for sometimes covering up little empty spaces that you might have. Okay, so experiment and try different combinations, and you should be able to carefully hide all the white of the poster board. When you cut out enough pictures, try arranging the pictures so that you're happy with their position. Okay, try to cover up any spaces and corners, and just make sure that you're happy with the overall layout. After you've arranged all your objects onto your board, ask me to come over. I'll take a look and see what you've got, and if everything looks okay, I'll give you permission to start gluing your objects onto the board. When you're ready to glue the images down onto your poster board, make sure you bring out a scrap piece of newspaper, then get your image, turn it over, and using a glue stick, carefully apply glue to the edge of your image. Make sure that there isn't too much or too little, and then turn the image over and place it down where you want the image. Then you just simply repeat with the next image, and you keep on doing this, carefully applying your images down one by one until you've got the entire poster board completely covered with your images. But make sure you leave room for your name, because that is one of the most important pieces of your collage. Katie did a collage on flowers, but she cut the flowers out in such a way that she left a white border between neighboring flowers. Aaron did a comic book theme, so he cut out pictures from his favorite comic books, but he also copied the style of title from one of his favorite books as well. This lettering was from a comic book that he liked. Lindsay's theme is obvious. She decided to do alcohol bottles, and it's actually quite effective because the bottles are very colorful, but she also decided to represent her name by drawing individual beer bottles and then cutting out the letters of her name inside the beer bottle. Jessica actually has two themes here. First, her collage is made up of black and white photos, but if you look carefully, all the photos are photographs of skateboarders. But she did her name in color, so that it would be able to contrast well against the black and white background. Emily decided to do a collage of black and white photographs of people's faces, but she also carried that same theme into the lettering for her name. Armando loves soccer, so his collage consists of all his favorite soccer players, and he also decided to use rainbow lettering to make his name stand out against the colorful background. Annie decided to cut out hundreds of photographs that she collected over the years, and so these are all photographs that she's taken, and then she carefully cut them out and arranged them on this collage, and there are literally hundreds of different people on this one collage.